Good morning. Are you struggling to start a meditation practice? During the week, I posted a couple of stories and a reel about some tips to meditate. And I know a lot of people really struggle with meditation, and I certainly have over the years, and it is still a practice for me that I'm working on. But I think so many of us want to try meditation or want to bring meditation into our life, but we try it and find it is much harder than what we think, or feel that we're failing at it. And that's a big one for people, if you're anything like me, who want to be able to do something well, and you try to meditate and you feel like you're failing because you can't stop thinking, and therefore you give up. So I thought I'd spend a few minutes today talking about what is meditation, and then giving you about 4 or 5 different strategies on how you can start a meditation practice. So to start with, what is meditation? Meditation is not stopping your mind. There's this perception that you have to, in order to be successful in meditating, you have to be able to stop thinking and sit in silence with no thoughts. And that is not correct. Certainly there are very specific meditation schools and lineages that have that element. But really for me, meditation breaks down to 3 elements. And the first, it is about quietening the mind. So slowing down the mind, not stopping it. Our minds are so busy thinking of so many different things, and we often get in loops of worry and concern, thinking about that one thing that is stressing us. Meditation helps us slow down the mind so that we can just find that little bit more calm and peace. The second element or component of meditation is being able to focus the mind. Again, many of us are juggling different things. We're thinking about the shopping list, about the kids at school, about the work assignment, about your fitness regime, about what you're having for dinner, that we just get overwhelmed. And one of the biggest stressors is having to make choices and decisions, and that constantly seems to be what we're trying to do. But if we can focus our mind through slowing it down and focusing, it seems like then those choices and those decisions can start to be a little bit more easeful, because we're not overwhelmed by this chaotic, messy mind. And the third component of meditation is connecting in with yourself. If we can connect in with our own deeper knowing and intuition, we then can make those choices in life much more easier. And we are so consumed by the outside world, social media, other people's thoughts and opinions. Meditation gives us that time to connect in with ourselves, so that we can really get to know who we are and come and make those decisions from a place of being centered. So we want to slow the mind, we want to focus the mind, and we want to connect with our inner self. So what are some of the things you need to know? I guess the first is setting up your space. It is really important, I believe, to go to the same space each time you meditate, to start to condition the mind to be ready to focus and quieten. And provide a space that you enjoy being. If you like to sit in nature, or if you have a seat, surround yourself with things that you enjoy to have: crystals, candles, maybe some incense. None of these things are necessary, but it does create that really nice space. The second thing that people often worry about is, how do I sit when I meditate? I can't sit cross-legged on the floor. You don't have to. But if you want to sit cross-legged, you just need to find a comfortable position. You can use cushions behind your back, or a chair that has a backing that holds you up, so you don't have to just sit totally unassisted, which can be quite uncomfortable if you're not used to doing that. So if you can sit cross-legged, that is fantastic. If you can't, you might like to sit on a chair with the soles of your feet on the floor. So I guess the important thing really is to be connected, to be grounded some way, whether you're sitting or having your feet on the floor. And the third option is to lie down. But just be aware, as someone asked in my stories during the week, that you may fall asleep if you're lying down. Not a bad thing. So they're the three options: sit cross-legged, sit on a chair with your soles of the feet on the floor, or lie down in a comfortable position. One of the most important components, I think, of meditating, or really anything, is the breath. So we can use the breath in meditation to help with slowing the mind, because as we slow our breath, our senses slow, our thoughts will slow. The breath also helps us focus the mind, and the breath gives us something to focus on to help the mind from chasing other thoughts. So we do a bit of breath work in my yoga classes, and it's something that a lot of people don't think about a lot. We breathe automatically, we don't think about it, but it is really important to learn to have some control over your breath. So learning how to breathe slowly and intentionally will help your meditation. How long should you meditate for? There's a saying that the busier you are, the longer you should meditate. It doesn't really matter how long you meditate for. If you're new and you struggle to sit there for too long, 5 minutes is fine. 2 minutes is better than nothing. A bit like learning to run, you don't want to go and do a 5K run on your first day. You want to start with short runs, doing 500 meters, and then build up over time. Same with meditation. But if you get to 15-20 minutes, that is fantastic. It doesn't have to be a long time. So set a timer if that helps, because sometimes if we're sitting there and planning to meditate for, say, 5 minutes, and then you've got one eye open half the time checking the time. So it can be nice to set a timer, make sure that alarm is nice and quiet so it doesn't startle you, and just agree before you start on how long you're going to sit there for, and be reasonable about that. Then should you sit in silence? If you can, that is nice. Sit in silence. Focusing on your breath is one way to meditate. Another way is simply to have music on. Go to Spotify, YouTube. There is plenty of music. You can search for meditation music, relaxation music. Sounds of nature can also be really lovely. Or if you need a little bit more to focus on, choose a guided meditation where someone will guide you through a visualization of a process that will help relax you, will help focus you, will help take you to a place where maybe you connect with your intuition. And again, like I said in my stories previously in the week, just play around with a few different meditation providers and find someone who you connect with and you like their style, their voice, the way they deliver the meditation, and find something that works for you. The last thing is just practice. It is called a meditation practice for a reason. Do not expect to be able to sit there for 30 minutes in silence the first week that you start meditating. If you have any questions, or if you are struggling with some element of your meditation practice, send me a message and I'm happy to have a chat and help out if I